Ready
Set
Gamecast.
Welcome to Ready Set Gamecast, a bi-weekly podcast about video games and flavored chips. I'm Bryce, and I'm joined by the Cool Ranch of people, Teddy Chinaris.
That's me. I'd rather be a classic Lay's potato chip, but tonight I'm the Cool Ranch. Cool Ranch Dorito.
And the flaming hot Dexterity.
Well, you're not wrong. I am pretty attractive, but if we're gonna pick chips for ourselves, can I be a pizza Pringle?
No.
Yes, that sounds like fun. A pizza Pringle. That sounds way more fun.
Why?
Because why not? Have you seen the commercial of Pringles where they're combining different flavors of Pringles to make new flavors? Like barbecue chicken pizza. You take a barbecue one and I don't know, the pizza one and something else.
You make it look like a little duck beak.
You put them together and eat them all at once. Because Pringles are boring, so you have to combine multiple of them, obviously. That's what Pringles told me.
I'm pretty sure that's the Pringles slogan. Pringles are boring, so put them together and make something okay.
Pringles have the worst texture, and then like at the bottom of the can, it's just like gross crumbs.
Pringles are alright. They're a little underrated, in all honesty. Like, not even like the super ridiculous flavors, just the classic Pringle. The normal, original classic Pringle is pretty good.
Well, you know what's not overrated? The what you've been playing section of this podcast. Darrian,
I thought you were going to be like video games. That would have made more sense.
That would have been better. That would have been better.
Video
But we're here in the part where Darrian tells us what game she's been playing. Podcast.
And she has a lot. She has way more than usual. She has a ton of video games.
That's just because I subjected her to them.
You didn't subject me to all of these. You subjected me to 2 of them. And the rest were all of my own accord.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 2 out of 6?
That's a third.
Yeah. She subjected
my
herself to
God.
2/3 of them.
Your
Then.
glass is tripping me out. It's like got a little bit of a tint, but it's also like green screened out. That's weird.
Can you guess what I'm consuming?
Mountain Dew. Surge.
Darrian gets it in 3.
Wow.
What? That's 2.
How cool is this can? They should just make the can like this.
That is pretty cool.
How would they do that, Bryce?
Just
take a picture of that, and there you go.
obviously not make a can that is constantly green screen. The background of
No,
grass.
just the way it looked right there.
Yes.
It's a dynamic background can. Very expensive to make.
But fucking worth it. Also, all this laughing is making me spill my drink on myself.
Do it! Dump it all on your lap. Coward, you won't.
Darren, please tell me the games.
Okay, so I started off, I played a little bit of God of War. I haven't 100%ed it yet. But I'm working on it.
You won't.
I will. Fight me.
Okay.
I played a tiny bit of Dead by Daylight because I dedicated a lot of my time to playing Marvel's Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, which I was not satisfied with.
What? That's not a surprise to me, but I'm acting like the viewer. I feel like that needs to be its own section at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back to that. I also played through Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, Reverse Rebirth, which is
Jesus Christ.
That's a mouthful. It's Riku's story of Chain of Memories, which is a lot simpler than regular Chain of Memories. It took me like 8 hours total to get through that, and Chain of Memories took me like 30 hours.
Well, you don't have to get... It comes with a pre-built deck. You don't have to collect cards, right?
The deck updates itself, and there's also just considerably less. Like Riku doesn't have stories in all of these worlds. You just have to go fight the bosses, and then you move on. He had a very bare bones story. It felt like a lot of filler, honestly. But I mean, it's fun. It's really frustrating though, because like the difficulty level went from like nothing at all to like the like third to last final boss took me like half an hour to beat, and the final boss took me a lot of time and a lot of concentration, and it was incredibly frustrating. And it came to a point where I was just like, I'd die, and then I'd just sit and like
yell,
talk to my chat for a minute, and then go back in, because it was just like, oh my god. And then after that, it was just like, well, I died again. Time to just jump right back in, because this is a waste of my time. So like, I'd start the cutscene, skip it twice, because that one had one of those split cutscenes where you have to do the command twice, which is stupid, bad invention. Yeah. Anyway, I played like 6 hours of Civ 5. Yes.
Did you play a match with a group of friends or something?
Yeah, I played with one of our friends got David Civ 5, so me and David played it, and then we started another match with that friend. Civ is fun, but I realized it's really hard to make commentary over it unless you just start talking about things that are unrelated to the game. Like,
yeah,
it's a very boring stream.
Yeah, it's a long, weird. I don't know. Civ's hard to make entertaining. What I really want, Civ 6 is on the Switch. That's what I want, because that would be a great game to have portable, because you could play that forever.
Yep. It's a good one. And I'm playing through all the Kingdom Hearts games before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. So I am about probably a 10th of the way through Kingdom Hearts 2. So I'm in a bit of trouble, but I've got a couple long streams between now and then, because I have to find 3 hours to watch all the cutscenes from 358 over 2 days. Because I don't want to do that on stream. That just feels bad.
Weird.
Yeah.
Just watching a 3-hour movie on stream, basically. And then I've got Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, and I think both of those games are like 20 to 30 hour experiences at least. So
Yikes.
I'm
Screwed.
I'm doing beginner mode on everything after Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's a good idea.
Just powering through them.
Yeah.
How much do you have left on Kingdom Hearts Key?
All of it.
Okay.
Is that the phone one?
That's the phone one.
I played a surprising amount of the phone game.
I made an account on that one.
Yeah, I did.
They added real-time co-op for some of it, I think. I think that's not all of it, but it's a thing.
Yeah, that was the game that came out when I was like working where I could use my phone. I was working at a job where I could use my phone, and I was working like all day on Saturdays. So like I just had nothing better to do than to grind, and I saw that game and I downloaded it, and it was very, very grindy. So I just did it for a while.
So I've got Dream Drop Distance is 20 hours, and Birth by Sleep is just under 30 hours, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is 32 hours, and I guarantee I have about 30 hours left of that game, because I spent a solid 3 hours in the tutorial in Roxas's just farming money. Like, it probably took me 5 hours of the gameplay that I'm currently in to get through Roxas. And that's almost certainly an exaggeration, but it took me a hot minute. It's gonna be a while.
A flaming hot minute?
No.
Fine.
Nope. All right, let's circle back to Spider-Man.
Do we want to do that?
I feel like that's a good one for topic of the show.
Yeah, it's related, so we could kick it off with that.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I'm scared. We're just gonna stall on that one.
We're gonna save that for
Don't
later.
be scared because I want to be clear. I don't think Spider-Man is a bad game. I personally just did not enjoy it. Like most of my points are like opinion based. I can accept that it's a good game. I just did not enjoy it at all.
She seemed to have a lot of
like
issues with the controls and things being clear. But I think we'll start off with Darrian getting into in the topic of the show what she disliked about it, and then I think there's also some good points about progression that Spider-Man maybe could have handled better. But a game that has great progression is one that Teddy will talk about now.
Would you consider that to be The Last of Us?
I don't know.
Really think that has good progression.
I don't freaking know.
What out of my games has good progression? Destiny 2 has good progression. That's good. Dude, okay. In the last, 2 weeks, I don't really know what I've played. I've played very few video games, and which is very sad and very unlike me. But, the ones I have on here, when I did stream, which I looked, the last VOD was 13 days ago, and I was like, yikes. But the last VOD was, I was trying to get through The Last of Us, because I've been wanting to replay that game since I played the remaster on PS4 when that came out. And I was like, during Christmas break, I was like, this feels like the perfect game to start here. Not gonna finish it. I wanted to, but that's probably not gonna happen. But yeah, I've been replaying The Last of Us when I do have the chance to stream, and then whenever I'm doing other stuff, the other games that I've played have been Switch games, just when I have the chance. Been playing Pokemon and Smash. Smash is a good one to hop into, and I actually loaded up Minecraft on the Switch and played that for a little bit because I've been craving to play Minecraft for a while too. And then I literally wrote probably Destiny 2. I don't know. I probably opened that game at some point in the last 2 weeks. Who knows? But yeah, Last of Us and then a bunch of Switch games. Just chilling. I've been getting ready for school and I've been watching more shows lately. And school started and this last week was super busy and I've been working more and all that. But I've been going through My Hero Academia. Once I finish that, I want to start Titans. Young Justice came back. That's exciting.
Is it out? I thought it's...
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
they're not. They're releasing 3 episodes a week. 3 episodes every Friday.
But the first ones are out there?
Yeah. It
Okay.
started last week.
Okay, cool.
Or 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I also heard that Titans is coming to Netflix, which is interesting.
It is on Netflix. It's on Netflix internationally because DC Universe is not a U.S. service. Or DC Universe is only a U.S. service. That's why.
It sounded like it was Netflix, the official one, was Titans
I thought
coming.
so too. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I looked. It came on for all other countries except America literally on Friday, on the 11th. That's what I was gonna do, was watch it on Netflix, but then I realized that and I was like, all right, I'm gonna pay for Universe for Young Justice anyway, so I might as well watch Titans. And I've heard that it's actually pretty good, which is weird because I did not see that coming.
I feel like
they
they played up weird parts of it. I feel like
Yeah.
the Robin with a gun is not the Tim Drake Robin.
Yeah.
So I feel like they were being weird with stuff.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I've been watching more shows and whatnot. I want to get back to playing more games, but I'm just super busy. And I feel like the games I'm playing these days are going to be more handheld, quick sessions. Or if I get to play something once a week, it'll be more of a story-based kind of thing. That's what I'm feeling these days.
Are you gonna play Kingdom Hearts 3?
No.
Disappointed.
But first I would have to play Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, Re-Chained Memories, X-Coded Riku Sora's
It's
Wet
just
Dream.
1.5, 2.5 remix. I don't remember what they call it when.
The story so far. You could just get the story so far, which is everything.
I don't really feel like I'm gonna like that game if I didn't. I don't know. I might. I'm also trying to save money, so I'm trying not to buy too many games. And 2019, honestly, doesn't have too many that I'm like super pumped about. 2019 has like Anthem. I'd like to get Division 2, but I won't be fully upset if I don't. And like Ghost of Tsushima is supposed to be this year. It's kind of it. What else is supposed to be 2019? Not much. Darrian's freaking out. What?
I looked at how long to beat for the story so far, and it says 156 hours.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass on that one. Oh, Sekiro is supposed to come out in 2019. Oh, Days Gone. So literally like Anthem.
Oh, Days Gone is gonna
Gone.
be so good.
Days
Anthem, Days
Gone?
Gone, and
People say Days Gone. That's the one that's supposed to be bad, isn't it?
What?
a lot of
Who
people
said
have.
that?
The biker one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the biker zombie one?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are saying that looks bad.
What do you mean?
They're wrong.
It looks really pretty.
A lot of people have problems with Days Gone because of how it was shown. Because it was shown, the first E3, I think it was the first E3 it was shown. They showed it like at the beginning and then at the end, and they were both kind of the same kind of demo. And then they've shown it. They've demoed that game wrong because then they'll go into behind closed doors things, and press people will come out and be like, "This game is an open world survival. Like the bike has to, you have to fill up gas, and the weather changes the environment, and like there's a bunch of shit that like they don't show. They show it like The Last of Us, like you're going into a story thing, and
Yeah.
that's not really what the game is. And what the game sounds like sounds fucking awesome. I'm excited. But a lot of people are against it because of the demos. And I somewhat get that because they haven't demoed it super well.
Oh, they just rated that game, by the way. It's
It
been
comes
given a
out
rating of
in-
M.
What is it, April?
April 26th.
Yeah, because it was February 22nd along with like everything else. But yeah, I don't know. I'm also hoping to, these days I don't know if I will because of my time, but I'd like to just stick to a game and like play that until I beat it and then move on to another one. That's what I'm hoping my 2019 includes.
Bryce talks about video games now.
You should.
Oh, okay.
I was on my way to get my hair cut. I look so stylish now. And I was passing by a town who had a Shopko who's closing down. So they've got everything like heavily discounted. And I popped my head in there and found a Xbox One S with 30% off. So I got that, and it included Forza Horizon 4. Got it just under $200, which I'm very happy with. Just like the whole Game Pass thing, honestly, I was not really interested in Xboxes at all, but the Game Pass has sold it for me, just for like all of the
Game Pass is
games
so good
in there.
Yeah, it's really good. There's a bunch of new stuff that is really solid these days too.
I don't know if I'm going to buy any games. I'm probably just going to do the Game Pass
No.
thing and
Yeah,
be fine with that.
that's totally reasonable.
But yeah, I messed around with Horizon. Forza. I keep wanting to call it Horizon Zero Dawn. It's Forza Horizon. It's fun. They want you to race very specifically, and it can be not the kind of thing I want. Especially, I'll slam into another car and I'll be like, that's gonna hurt them, and they don't even like notice it really. It feels like it's like Burnout, but without the actual car crashing, which kind of sucks. I popped on my VR headset, the HTC Vive, and played some Moss last night, and that game is gorgeous. Both the world of Quill, the mouse, the like you're like moving around these like little dioramas. Like you're just supposed to sit there in your chair while you control the mouse, and sometimes you'll be using things to like, you'll have to like reach out and touch him to heal him. You'll also have to grab things for him to platform onto and stuff. But you're also controlling Quill. But his world is gorgeous, like very, very gorgeous. But then also, because his world is mouse sized, and then you'll like look around like behind the world that he's in, and there'll be like deer there, and there was like, he was on these like little islands in this lake, and there was like, as far as I could see, like swords in the lake, like rusted swords, and it had the most beautiful atmosphere to it. Like at one point, I got up out of the chair and just kind of like looked around and just noticed all the cool architecture of Quill's world, and was like, this game is beautiful and awesome, and just like the mouse is so cute, and he'll do sign language at you. Apparently, my girlfriend was watching on the monitor as I was playing, and at one point I healed him, and he did a little gesture at me, and she told me that he sign language the word thank you. And I was like, oh, that's really cool.
That's so cool.
Will knows a few sign language words. It's really cute.
Huh.
It's available on PlayStation VR and has recently come to Vive, to PC. It was actually a little bit ago. I remember purchasing it closer to when it came out, but it was a while before I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready to do some VR stuff. And I'm really excited to finish that game off. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I also picked up Gris, which is this really cool platformer that the entire game looks like a watercolor painting. The music and the atmosphere to it is so great, and like it's kind of telling a story without any words. And you kind of gain powers, and there's some moments in there that just had my heart racing. It very much felt like they were kind of scripted things where I probably couldn't lose. But they had it feeling like you were on the edge of dying the entire time, and it was very intense and very cool. I think I'm very close to finishing it. There are a few points where it could be more clear where they want me to go to do the next section, but for the most part, it's very good, and I'm really enjoying my time with it. And it's very beautiful. If you're looking at the video version, my wallpaper is from Gris. And I also, with first thing I did when I got my Xbox One S, I went into Game Pass and saw what was there and just downloaded a bunch of stuff, including Celeste, because that's probably going to be something we're going to talk about in the Game of the Year discussions, which we'll be doing in about 2 weeks.
Dude, have you not touched it yet? Like at all?
No, I started up. I did the first area.
Celeste is so good. I want to beat that game so bad. I want to go back and beat that game.
I really like that, like, it is very much a challenging game, but the story is about it being challenging, and it kind of like it at the very start of like, this is going to be hard, but you can do it.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's why it's so good, is that the gameplay actually of like a 2D platformer fits in with the story.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really great for that message of like, this is a hard thing, but you can overcome it, and the gameplay fitting into the story and the story feeding into the gameplay is gonna be really cool, and I'm excited to see more. I told my girlfriend that she should totally check it out, and so I played the first, I think, world with her there, and I was like, I can't play too much because I feel like I'll just show you what to do, so
yeah,
I'll have to play more without her there. But that's all I've been playing. So now we go into the news. And as always, Tay Chinaris leads us into the news with a song.
Hey everybody, it's time for the news. Hey everybody, get ready, put your pants down, we're gonna read the news.
Okay, Darrian, on that note, got some news?
Yeah, I
Is everybody ready to pull your pants down and read the news?
Everybody ready for pull your pants down?
Yep.
Because Blizzard quietly confirmed. Oh no. Okay.
I was just surprised at how everybody just blew past that.
Blizzard confirmed that Soldier 76 is gay, and that's awesome. Soldier Daddy is gay.
Yup.
Well, they confirmed that he had a partner named Vincent, and then one of the devs said that he identifies as gay.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's in
More
it's in a
queer
comic, right?
representation.
Let's see here.
I think it's in a comic because Anna is looking, or Anna and him are hanging out.
It's in this guy.
The story of Overwatch has no effect on the game, so
But the story of Overwatch is better than the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, the story in Overwatch is so good.
I just wish they'd make a campaign.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Like a prequel.
It's alright.
I think an Overwatch prequel would be really fucking cool.
I also feel like the Overwatch story is very convoluted, that it would be hard to turn that into an actual game.
It can be a 50-hour game. Like,
Just make Kingdom Hearts Overwatch.
yeah, exactly.
There's a lot going on, of course, across the course of stuff that, like, depending, when it's set and stuff, could be if it's trying to cover the whole story. If it's maybe a small bit, maybe.
Yeah. I'm wearing my Overwatch League shirt. My Dallas Fuel Overwatch League shirt. Overwatch League starting in February, on February 14th. Everybody get excited. Overwatch League Season 2.
I don't think any Overwatch characters are on this shirt. Probably came before Overwatch.
Yep. So that's your Overwatch news. Now, maybe you'll watch.
Also,
what?
Your other Overwatch League news? The Shanghai Dragons are gonna be better next season. What is it? The China team is gonna suck. Let me find it. Andrew gave me some inside information, but
Okay.
Season 2 is gonna be fun.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. CES just happened, and we got some news about the HTC Vive, the best VR headset. You heard it here first. They paid me $6 million to say that.
Wow.
They didn't, but if you do, I'll still say it.
I was about to say, I was like, geez.
So the Vive announced two products at CES, one of which being eye tracking for the I believe it's called the HTC Vive Pro eye tracking. And basically it's a little thing that goes over the lenses. And it will track your eyes, where you're looking with your eyes, through kind of pulses of light. But the important thing about this is what they're able to do with that. There's some dumb uses of it. Like they do have a game or an thing which will help you learn how to public speak better by like seeing where you're looking and stuff. And it's like, okay, I guess that's a thing. But the cool thing is they're able to do a trick where they will improve the resolution only where your eyes actually are looking. So everything else will be lower resolution, and as your eyes move, that stuff will be higher resolution. So it allows them to have higher resolution without making you have to process everything at high resolution. But everything you see, everywhere your eyes are going, will look crisper due to this fact. So cool. It's a really cool trick that they're able to do with VR. And I would say like the Vive is pushing VR forward, and like they've got the wireless, they've got the eye tracking. There's definitely other headsets that'll have better resolution and stuff, but it's really cool to see these tech advancements still happening in the VR field.
That is cool.
But in terms of a step backwards, the Vive announced the Vive Cosmos, which is supposed to be a standalone VR headset. It's more trying to be like the cheap, easy version, which they're saying is supposed to be able to. It won't have sensors. You'll do the tracking from inside the headset, and basically it kind of seems like it's gonna be more similar to a higher resolution version of cell phone VR, where you just kind of be able to look left and right. They're saying you can attach it to your PC and then possibly to your phone. We have very little details on it, and honestly, it just kind of seems dumb to me.
Yeah.
But you know what else is dumb? Nintendo's decisions. Darrian,
Sometimes.
tell me about Nintendo.
So I mean, Nintendo made a huge mistake. And they confirmed basically that Bowsette is never going to be a canon thing. By basically in the they said that Luigi can't use the item. Only Toadette can use the item that turns her into Peachette.
Yeah, they said only she can wear the crown.
Right, which is a way of saying no Bowsette without officially saying no Bowsette, which is a huge bummer.
I think it's funny that they said sorry, Luigi, though, because that's very clearly like a jab at the Bowsette people, like trying to be like, we're not talking about her.
Did we ever get a Luigi yet?
No.
No,
Well, probably.
no one
I'm
gave
sure
a shit.
somebody made one.
Somebody needs to get on that. Like, if that's maybe.
They made a Waluigi yet. There was a comic about Waluigi where he puts on the crown and he doesn't change at all. It's all right, Waluigi. You're already a princess.
Yes. That's not in Smash, though. Feels bad, man.
Oh, what if they put the crown in Smash?
As an item.
Yeah,
Everyone
That'd
puts
be
it on
cool.
and changes into the... Yeah, that'd be
that'd be
amazing.
pretty sick.
But yeah, no more Bowsette.
So yeah, no, Bowsette's not going to be canon.
But like, no more Bowsette from Nintendo, but like, it's still gonna be Bowsette. That was a moment in time.
no.
People still love her.
Bowsette's still a fan favorite, so maybe
Yeah.
one day they're gonna
She'll come
give
back in a
to
more
us.
official way.
Yeah, but right now she's just fan.
Teddy, maybe someday will Destiny be good?
Yes! Spoilers, it already is. But
What a shady way to introduce that.
did I expect any different? Like, that didn't surprise me at all. I'm just
Oh my god.
Okay, so this was really big news and really surprising news. I was just like scrolling on Twitter and saw this and was like, what? But yeah, so basically, Jason Schreier, this is his article on Kotaku about it, but Bungie and Activision are splitting. Let's see here. It says, we have enjoyed a successful 8-year run and would like to thank Activision for their partnership on Destiny. Bungie said in a blog post today. Looking ahead, we're excited to announce plans for Activision to transfer publishing rights for Destiny to Bungie. With our remarkable Destiny community, we are ready to publish on our own, while Activision will increase their focus on owned IP projects. And Jason said that people he knew that worked at Bungie were popping champagne on this day. They were all really excited about it. This was a thing that they wanted to do for a long time. So it's not a like tumultuous split. It's not a hostile split or anything. Like, this was a thing they wanted to do. And imagining a Destiny without the forced annualized scheduling of Activision is really exciting. So I'm excited about this, but it does put a lot more pressure on them, because like, if Bungie messes up microtransactions and monetization, then everyone can just point blame at them. Like, everyone will be like, this is you now, instead of being like, oh, dirty old Activision. Now it's all them. So good luck, Bungie. You got this. They are way bigger than they were when Destiny started. They are huge, with like 2 other studios helping them on Destiny.
How long do you think we'll start to see changes?
I'm not, it depends, because like, everyone always says like, the rumors are that Activision wanted Eververse to do this, and Activision wants annualized scheduling, and Activision like forces this down their throats. But like, we don't fully know that. So like, depends on, I mean, it's safe to assume, but like, if that is the case, then I would imagine somewhat soon, like by the end of the year, for sure. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if the big September expansion is going to be different than you would expect, maybe.
And what kind of things are you expecting to change?
It's weird to say, because now it's like, I'm not sure if they would go back on certain things, but there are certain things that I think they wouldn't do. But like, they're already there now. Like I feel like the way the Eververse is exists now would not be the same, but I'm not sure they're gonna go completely back on it because they are making money and they are to a point where the community is at least more understanding of it. But like just forced annualized content, like they're gonna go at their own pace more is what I would say.
I've got one more question before we move on to the next story.
Yeah.
Did Cade 6 die to free Bungie from this curse?
He did. He died for our sins. Big ups to you, boy Cade 6. Never forget, you know.
Okay, what's next?
Oh yeah, I'm also next.
Yeah.
So the Bryce is gonna say that he told me so because we
tell
talked
us the
about this a
thing,
while
and then I will
ago.
respond.
Rocket League is now supporting crossplay across all consoles, as I think PlayStation tweeted out, like, we're welcoming them into our crossplay beta program, which is so. Why are they still calling it a beta? I don't understand. But yeah, they're coming out. I believe it's not available to party up with your friends immediately, but you can do private matches with your friends for the moment, and then soon you'll be able to do everything with everybody. Everything with everybody on Rocket League.
Yes, when Epic was talking about them releasing their crossplay development features to other people using their engine, I was like, we're gonna see a lot more cross-platform stuff on PS4. And Teddy's like, no, Fortnite's the only one who's allowed to do it. No one.
I want somebody to go back and find the episode, because what I said was that Bryce was guaranteeing that because Fortnite, this is it. All the other games are going to be cross-platform now. Rocket League's going to be, Minecraft's going to be, this is going to open the floodgates, right? And I was just saying that it's not guaranteed because it's one game. It's the biggest game in the world. It's Fortnite, and they're calling it a beta. I figured, but I was like, the next game, if there's like another one that comes out, then they'll all start being added, and I'll agree with you. So like, I totally think Minecraft is next after this, 100%. I feel like Minecraft has to be next, but I was just saying it wasn't a guarantee.
Teddy's just trying to cover his tracks because he was
Somebody
wrong.
Find it.
I really want Aaron to like get the clip of this, of you being like, this is what I said, and then cutting it to a clip of what you actually said. Of like, no, it's not gonna happen. It's just gonna be Fortnite.
I was definitely more on the side of that Fortnite wasn't going to make it so that everything was, gonna happen. But I'm glad it is. I wanted it to happen. I definitely want it to happen with everything.
Yes.
Make Division 2 and Call of Duty. Just make everything cross-platform for everywhere.
Well, I think there's one game that should never go cross-platform because it should die. And it's called
Oh, God.
Fallout 76. Darrian, can you tell me why?
Certainly. So, Fallout 76 fucked up pretty bad.
In many ways.
The list just keeps going.
This is just a new one.
So this one, the latest problem is that users have found a way into the dev room on live servers and can access all of the weapons that are currently in the game, as well as weapons that haven't been released yet.
Oh my God.
As well as like a couple of, there's a couple like Easter eggs and things like that. This specific article says Wooby is in it.
Yeah, it's the only human NPC. He doesn't have any dialogue or anything. He's just a human that there's not any humans in the world except for this one. And basically,
but it gets worse.
Go on.
Because Bethesda started emailing people who have been found to have gotten into this dev room and accuses them of cheating, asks them to reply to the email and tell them how they got into the dev room, and then they'll do an investigation to decide or to reach a final decision about the status of this account, right? So
Yikes.
Bethesda doesn't know how they're doing it and doesn't want to directly say that is the case.
Oh my god.
I don't know why they have a room on the map that people can go to.
Exactly. Why would they put the dev room on the live servers? What the fuck were they thinking? On top of that, they don't have like account locks so people can sell the weapons that are on their account. So if you go onto like eBay right now, there's a shit ton of weapons being sold at ridiculous prices and people are buying them.
That guns that aren't released, the only way to get them is from this room.
Right. And so people are trading them around. And so like the accounts that did the breaking into the dev rooms don't even necessarily still have all of that shit. They're selling it and making money off of it.
God.
Bethesda fucked up pretty bad. They shit the bed so hard and then they just stayed in it. It
is very clear that they needed to get that game out for financial reasons this year because there is no way that they didn't know that that game wasn't ready. Like they knew what they were releasing. But I guess they just felt like they had to put it out anyways.
For financial reasons, but I feel like this is gonna bite them in the ass. This is awful. I don't know how they're going to recover.
It was a waste for them to eat. Like, this was a bad idea from start to finish. Unless they were going to go... Like, Fallout 76 would have been good. Like, people definitely want to play Fallout with their friends. There's mods for Fallout games to play multiplayer, but the direction they went was not great, and every step along the way has been bad for them. So,
yeah,
it'll be good to.
It's rough.
When the server is finally shut down on that thing, there will be cheers.
God. Oh my god, they did bad. They did a bad job. It's very sad.
But Darrian has a couple good newses that she's gonna share real quick.
I think I only have one, don't I?
2.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Catherine was released onto Steam as Catherine Classic.
My ex-girlfriend is on Steam.
Yep.
The game Catherine, which was published, developed by Atlas, and it's Atlas's first internally developed game to come to the Windows PC, which is really exciting. And there's also an upcoming Catherine full body remaster, which is in the works, and it's also going to make its way to PC as well as I think at least PS4.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're doing a remake, which will be exciting. I absolutely loved Catherine. I actually played that game start to almost finish. The last puzzle was too hard for me, so I went and found a walkthrough that would have showed me the specific ending that I would have gotten, which was not great, to be honest. I did not get the best ending, in my opinion, but I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be playing Catherine on stream at some point, but my January through February is booked because of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Consuming your life.
Yep. Other cool stuff. The God of War art director released some cool designs for Smash Bros. Ultimate fighters. And they're really weird and realistic and creepy looking. They're kind of cool.
The Link one creeps me the fuck out.
He looks like a beautiful elf man, okay?
The Fox looks cool. Bowser looks just absolutely horrifying. Same with Sonic. It's just a nightmare city. Oh my god, Mega Man? Yikes.
Darrian is going to tweet the link to this on her Twitter. So go to twitter.com/dexterity to see the
There's
links.
Mewtwo. Oh, okay. Yep. Mega Man. I see it now.
God.
It's very realistic and just creepy looking.
So
I love them.
creepy.
I guess I'm gonna tweet a link to that.
Well, you said go look at them, so there's where to find them. Go to Darrian's Twitter.
He released another one. It's King K. Rool.
Oh,
That one's cool.
I want to
Yep.
see. Oh my god. That one looks really good. That's maybe my favorite.
I'm just gonna retweet one of them, and then you can click on you can click on his profile and go scroll through it. They're all pretty recent, so.
Nice.
That works.
All right.
Yeah, so that's that.
We've got one last news story today, and if you know of the Humble Bundle store, they are a popular place to get bundles of games, usually indie games, sometimes bigger games, and they'll throw money towards a charity. You can also get them at discounted prices in terms of the bundles, and they also have a store where you can purchase individual games, where a cut of that will go to charities of your choosing. And also, if you have a Humble monthly subscription, which is kind of like a loot box for digital games, you'll get 10% off the store. The Humble Bundle store has added Nintendo Switch and 3DS games to their store. Now, remember when I said all of that thing about the charity and the discounts? That does not apply to these games. You will have to pay full price for them. They do not qualify for the Humble monthly discount, and buying them will not give money to charity. I don't know why they are on the store. My guess is they're probably trying to like establish a relationship with Nintendo so that they can maybe make a bundle at some point with Switch games in it. But they're kind of trying to like get their foot in the door with them. But it's kind of dumb that like they added these games, but they're not playing by the same rules that all other games in the Humble Bundle store go on. But if you decide to buy them, you should use my partner link. Put like partner equals Last Geek at the end of it, and I think it gives me money. I don't think anybody's ever done it, but that would be cool. You could be the first.
Oh, that's funny.
Hashtag ad. So that is all of the news. Now Darrian tells us a little bit about another way that people can help support this podcast.
So, Last Geek has launched a Patreon. Bryce has launched a Patreon.
My name is Bryce.
Bryce is the Last Geek, and he has launched a Patreon.
I've slipped poison into all of your drinks.
Oh, yikes.
He launched a Patreon to help make great content like this podcast and another podcast called Game Make Corp and another podcast that's supposed to come out this year called Dead Air. Please look for that and hold him to it and tweet him and tell him to make the podcast so Darren can listen to all of it.
You can follow the Twitter account Dead Aircast that I created, so I got that step done.
Perfect. For the low price of $5 a month, you can get a shout out on every episode of Ready Set Gamecast, just like Aaron and Dragon did. Dragons?
I usually say
Why
dragons.
do I literally always stumble over his
don't know
fucking
why.
name?
It's just Dragons Lucas.
He gets the longest shout out. Like he gets like a
yeah, he gets an extended one every time.
just say his name like 3 times. Yes, thank you to all our Patreons for helping make this possible. Now, this brings us to the topic of the show. So this week, after watching Darren's been playing Spider-Man, which we've talked about, and I watched a little bit of her play it during a Twitch stream, and it got me thinking about progression in games. So the question is, how should game devs handle leveling in games? Something like Spider-Man makes you wait to unlock new skills and abilities that would make the game more fun. But would it be less fun if you started with them? Is it better to start off strong and end stupidly strong, or start off weak and end up just kind of a bit stronger?
It's an interesting question.
Because, yeah, in Spider-Man, you start off with just web shooters. By the end, you have drones and electrocution and all these things. But let's start off with Darrian just telling us about her experience with Spider-Man.
That is a good point. Do it. I want to hear it.
All right. I want to start with the good, because when I first started the game, I was actually really impressed. I was really bad at web slinging, but the audio design of the game was really good. Like, I liked swinging around the city. Like, the sounds were dynamic. It felt like you were actually swinging through New York City. That was really cool. So that was fine. Web slinging was really satisfying once I got the hang of it. Like, especially when I got the move that helps you, like, quick recover. So, like, I'd fuck up, hit X, and just jump and launch right back into it. That was really satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, this brings up the point. That would be something that should she have started with that? Is that something developers maybe should have started you with? But go on.
Well, yeah, we'll continue. And then the costumes were really cool. I really liked all the different suits. I didn't like that one of the suits I had to go take 50 secret pictures to unlock, so I didn't do that.
I don't even think I've done that, and I've platinumed the game, or maybe I have. Isn't it like a secret thing though?
There's like the pretty much naked suit.
Oh, is it? Okay, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. That's the secret suit.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, I guess.
I guess I do have it.
I mean, I think when looking at the outline, you can kind of get a vague idea of what it is, and then
yeah.
I haven't unlocked it, but like I've seen a picture of it. I'll be like, oh, okay. I was wondering if it's a naked suit. Yeah, it's a naked suit. It's basically shirtless
He's not
Spider-Man.
actually naked. He has boxers
underwear,
and the
yeah.
mask, and
Yeah.
that's it.
They'll never figure out who you are.
So the bad. These are the things that I experienced that I did not enjoy. I feel like I couldn't find anybody else who had the experience of glitching into a building, but that happened to me more than once. 2 times significantly. One of them was very early on. I was literally on the way to go save in front of a mission, and I glitched into a building. And I was going to like end my stream and end the game, and I was like, well, this is a shitty way to end the stream. I'm stuck in a building and I can't get out. So that was not fun.
That's weird.
Yeah, and I didn't see anybody else who had that issue, but there's a clip of it on my stream because I was very distraught the second time it happened.
I feel like you had an abnormal amount of glitches. Like there were quite a few times I saw you experience glitches during your stream, and I was like, I can't think of any time I really had a glitch.
Yeah, I didn't really either. Like, I mean, the camera was a little buggy sometimes, I guess would be the best, like the closest thing.
Yeah, in a building, it could be a little bit.
Yeah, but other than that, it was fine. I didn't have any glitches really.
I had issues with the camera. I had issues with the combat. I had issues with web slinging when I swung into the buildings. Like I was just swinging around, and then I was inside a building, and it happened so seamlessly, and then I couldn't get out. I was so confused. Anyway, yeah, and so web slinging sometimes was really satisfying. Sometimes was incredibly frustrating. I struggled with it sometimes, and I was just like, this is fucking stupid. I hate this. There were some missions that had awkward interactions. Like there was one where you did really early on, you did like a stealth mission to go do some recon basically. And you were supposed to
Mary Jane stealth or Spider-Man stealth?
No, Spider-Man. Like you snuck into no spoilers. You snuck in to get some info about one of the bad guys, and in order to get out of the building again, you had to climb up to a vent. And it was a big enough room that I should have been able to like crawl up the wall to get to the vent, but it wouldn't let me do that. It forced me to step back and stare at it and like pull myself to the vent, and I thought that was stupid.
Well, you need to rip the. I think you need to
gotta
rip the
rip
vent
the-
off.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be ripped off. He lifted it and climbed through it, and it closed behind him. And I was like, what? Why did I have to do that way? Like, it took me like 30 seconds to figure out that I had to stop what I was trying to do and back up.
I think that's interesting, though, because I feel like most people probably looked at it and then did it. I mean, that's what I did. Like, I didn't try. I feel like that's probably the natural way that they tried to, like, lead you to that. But you were like, I'm going to do it this way.
Well, no, like I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do because like he was on the phone with Mary Jane at the same time. And so I was just walking around and I had no idea what I was supposed to do. The game didn't tell me what I was supposed to do next. And he was talking to Mary Jane and I was like, okay, well.
Well, I was popped into spider vision if I wasn't sure what to do next because whatever I'm supposed to do will glow.
I also forgot that exists until almost endgame. And then I used it a lot because there were some stealth missions I was trying to finish, and it was essential in those.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was essential the entire game, but...
It wasn't essential.
There
was a lot of stuff that was obvious, but there was a lot of stuff that wasn't obvious as well.
Yeah.
Would have been more helpful. I should have started this with a disclaimer that I'm a bad gamer. Hi, I'm Darrian. I'm an idiot, and I tried to play Spider-Man, and I hated it. The game was too smart for me.
I sucked at Spider-Man. Now, let me go into why Spider-Man sucks and is a bad game.
No. I've specifically said it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. These are like personal. Okay. These are issues that I had. There were some weird times where the mission activation was inconsistent. Like sometimes you'd be like 50 meters away and it would activate, and sometimes you had to be on the exact point. And I thought that was dumb because like I'd be swinging over the point and I'd be not quite there yet and it would jump right into it. And there was a time when I was like 2 feet away from it, the glowing thing was right in front of me and I had to walk into it, and then it pushed me back out of where I had just walked into for the cutscene, and I was like, what the fuck? It was a little bit immersion breaking and it made it a less pleasant experience.
I feel like that's okay. All right.
It's probably a case-by-case scenario.
Yeah, it's a little nitpicky. Yeah. Like, you just go to the thing and then start the thing. Like, if you're going here and it starts when you're here, okay. If it starts when you're here, you were going there already. Like,
well, but it was awkward because, like, okay, it starts in the center of this corner, right, near Times Square. And when the cutscene starts, you're back before where you had just walked to activate the mission. Like that, it was like a bad movie where the director didn't do a proper cut. And so you watch the person do the same thing twice in a row. And it was awkward.
It's like when they do commercials during a TV show and like they do the thing that just happened before the commercial. So because, remember what was happening?
Yeah, like that, except it was no time at all. It was just awkward and weird for me to experience.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Okay, anything else?
These are almost all things I did not experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is...
I feel like Darrian had a unique experience. More
frustrating to me.
Though, to be fair, she wasn't using spider vision, which was kind of an important element that you were supposed to do.
Shh. Let's see. I wrote frustrating transitions, forced actions in combat, and interactive cutscenes.
It was nice that they allowed you to skip QTEs in the accessibility and skip puzzles because
I did.
Puzzles were annoying, and
I didn't do either.
It's cool that they allowed you to skip. I think skipping puzzles and QTEs was added in later. I ended up using those to all the the optional puzzles that you have to do to like get the platinum. I just turned on the skip puzzles thing and went in and skipped them all and still got the trophy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was neat. I did that too.
I did all of them.
I didn't mind them, but as soon as Bryce was like, oh, you don't have to do those, I was like, oh, perfect. I'm not going to do them then.
Yeah.
Nobody liked the Miles and Mary Jane missions, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
I did.
I fucking hated them.
I liked
my
them.
god.
It's more the Miles ones than the Mary Jane ones, though. I liked Miles because he was like, it made sense. You know, he's a kid. The pacing, it worked for the pacing and changed up his variety. Like I didn't have to be Spider-Man all the time. I liked that you got to chill for like a quick second, then go back into it.
I liked that you didn't have to be Spider-Man the whole time. I didn't like that they both just seemed so fucking stupid. Like, Mary Jane is a very intelligent person, but sometimes in her missions, it was like she was probably saying things for like expositional purposes, but it was just like annoying. Like why are you stating this? It's obvious. Shut up. Stop talking. Like,
I didn't experience that at all.
also didn't like how how pig-headed they made her. Like she was very stubborn when it came to interacting with Peter.
That
and
is
I
very
didn't
true.
like that.
She kept being like, but I want to work this thing. And he's like, you're going to die.
There is a novel that takes place before the game that kind of makes sense of that, because apparently while Peter and Mary Jane were dating, Mary Jane tried covering news stories and Peter was being a little bit like too controlling of like, no, you'll get hurt, and they broke up because of that.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty implied that he was too overbearing and overprotective, and she hated that, and like that's why she's so stubborn, specifically with him.
Yeah,
well, he was protective of her, but she fucking went to where one of the villains was and got. Can't spoilers.
There were a lot of points.
It was
where,
just like, you
I get
fucking dumb bitch. You were going to die, and I hope so. Learn your fucking lesson. Like,
wow,
what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah, she's like the one that got me. I think she was going into what's it called, like a saber like military like camp. She was like in that thing with like these fucking soldiers with weapons. That was the one where I was like, dude, why are you here? You're gonna fucking die. Like, and then Peter comes in and takes her and she's mad. And I'm like, I think like, if I remember correctly, I was like, you had a gun like pointed at you, like, and he saved you, and you're like mad about it? Like, I don't understand.
He was gonna talk. No, he wasn't. Are you crazy?
Yeah, basically. But most of the time I got it, but like sometimes I was like, you're gonna actually die. Like, stop.
Jesus.
Her missions were better when we had the ability to take out enemies, both in the one.
Which was like one mission ever.
Well, there was the mission where she was calling in Spider-Man to take them, and then in the late part of the game.
I love that mission because like she calls him in, and then you like switch to him and like switch back to her and like go through. It was really cool.
In the late part of the mission, she got a taser, which allowed you to take out guys, which is very, in the DLC, she still has the taser. So when it went to Mary Jane mission in the DLC, I was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, wait, she still has the taser. I can actually clear out guys instead of like just running around like a scared,
sneaking around them. Yeah,
I hope nobody sees me. I can at least like try and stealth them and take them out, which actually makes her stuff better. And I mean, that's kind of a sense of progression, which we're talking about, of like, it might have been Mary Jane might have been a lot more fun if she started with a stun gun.
And the Miles one I really liked was the Rhino.
That was the one I hated the most.
It was so cool though, because he was like, there was like destruction and there was actual shit happening.
I did have a glitch with that one where the Rhino just stopped moving. He's just standing right where I was needed to go, and it was like, okay, I guess.
Was it in like when you had to activate the sounds to get him distracted?
I think so.
Because I had that issue the first time too, so I had to get myself killed.
Yeah.
Like, I activated a sound, he turned around, went straight to that sound, and then immediately turned back around and caught me right away. And I was like, what?
Yo!
At least pretend you were distracted. You were almost there. What? That one was frustrating to me because it was like, it felt like it went on forever. Like, it just felt excessive. Like, why did I start in the middle of the camp in this mission and then have to go all the way back out? Like, why? This seems excessive.
It was a little long. Yeah.
To get to the okay, what were your problems with combat? Let's get into that real quick.
I mean, I mostly just struggled with combat. It felt like every time I would do something, like if I had a mission that specifically wanted me to like do specific things to get extra tokens, I struggled with those so bad. Unless it was
It's still optional.
web the person to the wall. Okay, easy peasy. But if any aerial combat, I couldn't fucking do ever. Never, ever could get that to work properly.
Yeah. I did see Darrian get very frustrated about not being able to do specific things. And I was like, it's optional. And she's like, no, I don't want to have to do any more of these. I hate it. And I was like, maybe you hate it because you're feeling you're forcing yourself to do moves that you're not,
I
wanting
wanted
to
a
do.
specific suit. That specific suit needed crime tokens. I didn't want to have to go around and do all of the crime missions so that I had enough tokens. I just wanted to do the one that was going to give me 3, and then one more that was going to give me 3, and I would have been fine. But the shit that it made me do to try to get those additional tokens was impossible in the place that it assigned me to do it. Like, I spent, like, 3 minutes trying to do the aerial kick thing, and I got it to go off twice in that whole time.
Which
Because
aerial
it kept
kick?
changing. It kept changing what my target was while I was in the middle of the air.
I think
Like,
it's
in
the one
middle
where
of
you
an
have
action.
where you're basically swinging and then press square.
Yeah. I didn't have any problems with that, and I did like I remember one time I think it had me do it like 3 times, and I just like jumped and
Mine was like 10 times, and
yeah.
and it was in a small space. So instead of
Yeah, that would
swinging
be
all the way
harder.
through, it would stop midway and take me out of the aerial combat and make me just do like regular combat. And it was like, no, why would you give me an impossible mission? I can't do it in the space that you're providing me. This is a waste of my time and resources. Like, why did you do this to me, game?
Okay. As the game got farther in, I guess you were kind of just trying to push your way through it at that point.
Yeah.
Did you feel like more upgrades made things more fun for you?
No.
Okay.
More upgrades, I didn't use them.
Okay, that's a problem.
I didn't use them because it was like, this is ineffective, all right? Web Blossom, I'm good. Like, I don't need literally anything else. Like, Web Blossom, and then I got to kick a guy a couple times, and this is it.
Web
That's the one I
Blossom
use the most.
was super overpowered. You drop in the middle, and then you just spray webs everywhere, and it'll like knock like half of them into.
I never used that.
You messed up. That'll take out so many
I
guys
used
right away.
drones. I used the Spider Bro, which was the drone like suit power, and then I used the drone gadget, and I threw out all of them at the beginning of the fight, and it would take out everything.
I would Web Blossom, and then I'd throw out like at least 2 drones, then switch to shoot the supercharged one that would just pin guys to the wall. And then if I ran out of that, then I go to the trip mines, which is so satisfying to throw a trip mine onto a guy, and then he crosses path with another guy, and they suction together. It's so good.
I'm kind of wanting to look up the suit powers and the gadgets to remind myself, because like I remember trying out a bunch of the different suit powers, like almost all of them, apparently not the Web Blossom, but like all of them, and being like, these are all really strong and really OP in their own ways. Like there weren't really many that were weak, and there were some that were super strong. I rarely had problems like doing stuff. Like it wasn't really that hard of a game until, I mean, the end it gets pretty hard around the end.
The end was frustrating, especially like the final boss.
Oh, I had to do that so many times.
So that
I
one
did
pissed me
first
off
try.
the most because I kept dying after getting to like phase 2, and it kept starting you off at the beginning again, which makes sense. But it got to a point where I was like, how many times am I going to like throw all of my weight into this old man before his chest collapses? Like, why is this still a thing? This is an old man with a old man, and why, like, he should not be able to hold up in combat against me. This is unacceptable. What the fuck?
I mean, he had
Not enough. Not enough.
Okay.
He's still an old man with a dying body.
Okay.
And I'm attacking his body.
but like not really.
I definitely am. Every time you did the finisher, Spider-Man threw his legs. He swung in and just threw his entire legs into his chest. Fucking body slammed into the goddamn ground. Full body weight with additional like pressure. Like no. One of those should knock that fucker out. He's a dying old man.
I'm not sure he was dying.
How much did your audio just peak?
All of it. So much.
Great.
I don't know. I get it, but like I will say that like I am not good at games, and I didn't really have this is a lot of the times there are games that I will notice that are specifically very frustrating for me and I can't do them, but like I didn't really have many problems with Spider-Man. I did pretty good and went through it and it was well designed.
See, I was kind of thinking about it was pointed out that I pre-ordered it, and I guess I started out with the drones. So like there was definitely early on when Darrian was fighting people and kind of getting knocked back a lot. I was like, oh, use your special stuff. Don't you have drones or anything? And she like opened up her window thing, and I think she had the normal web shooter and maybe the strong web shot thing, and that was it. I was like, is that all she had? Like, I remembered having stuff a lot earlier, and it was probably the drones because I started with those. And maybe that made combat easier. And I kind of think that like a suit should have maybe been a pre-order bonus, not something that makes the game easier.
Yeah. But that's what people do these days is weapons and stuff like that.
Going all the way back to BioShock Infinite, you got this like special Comstock weapon that was super strong beginning of the game. It didn't matter once you got a little bit further in, but like at the beginning it was like, holy shit. These people can't deal with me.
To compare that to another game Darrian's played recently, God of War kind of like, I would say that game doesn't have as much clear progression or because like I think the stuff you unlock in Spider-Man drastically changes how you fight combat. Like you have a lot more access to different things that will drastically change how you're handling fights. But where in God of War, you pretty much there is a slight gameplay change later on, but for the most part, you're kind of just going in and hitting guys, and you
earn new combos. You earn new
but
like
you only use one at a
abilities as
time.
you go.
See, that was something that I had as a complaint against Spider-Man, is that there was too many things to choose from. Like, the number of web powers, or not what were they? Like the drones and the
Gadgets?
web slingers, like gadgets. Yeah. There was too many gadgets for me. I was like, there were like 4 gadgets that I used once, and it's only because the game made me. And then the rest of the times it felt like this is pointless because there are other things that I can do that are better. This is a waste of my space. This is too many resources for me.
Have you ever played Ratchet and Clank?
No.
Okay. The Ratchet and Clank has a lot of... Ratchet and Clank's awesome, but it has a similar, like, circle deal of all these different guns that you can choose from just, like, a typical blaster to something that will turn enemies into sheep.
Yeah. There's one that you throw, and it's like the boogie bomb in Fortnite. It's like a disco ball, and whatever enemy it is starts dancing like crazy.
Even bosses. Watching, like, the giant guys dance is so awesome.
Yeah.
So do you think it's better to have only like slightly, maybe like do a little bit more damage than to have something where you're, big gadgets that are able to, change the way you're fighting? How Teddy, how do you think the best way to handle leveling? I guess, it could maybe be a case by case scenario, but what do you think? I mean, somebody in chat did mention earlier that something that a lot of games do, I guess not a lot, some games do, is that you'll start off strong, like with all of your powers, then lose them and then get them back. So it kind of shows you the potential of where you'll end up at the end, and then but you kind of lose it again.
I think it is 1000% a case-by-case basis. You can't design every single game exactly the same, especially when it comes to this. Some games are specifically designed to be empowering, to make you feel awesome, like Infamous, and personally, I think Spider-Man, because I didn't really think it was hard. I thought they overloaded you with easy gadgets. And then there are games like Dark Souls that are specifically made to not give you much or anything and for you to figure it out. It just depends on the game. Some games are want you to feel empowering, and some games want you to feel like you don't have any power and you have to figure out how to overcome it.
Darrian. What do you prefer in terms of progression?
I like slow progression more.
More where you're just kind of getting like a little bit stronger, doing a little bit more damage than something big where like now I can punch a guy straight across the map.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, the Spider-Man progression felt clunky because it felt like it would introduce gadgets just so you could specifically use them in that mission, and then like they had already introduced superior gadgets like the stronger web, which was limited, but like it was better like than the regular web.
I didn't really use the electrical one all that often. It did work out. It was almost a last resort of like, oh, all of my other gadgets are gone. There were times when lots of enemies were grouped together where it did work out very well of just like, I like 6 of them are electrocuted right now, but that was definitely like a last resort web.
Yeah.
I only use the electrical web when the missions told me to, like for bonus stuff and in the story. Otherwise I didn't use it in combat.
The reason Spider-Man I feel like is the more of the game that's like empowering is because a lot of the times I would use very simple weapon or very simple gadgets or none and be fine. And then the further I got in the game and the harder it got, the more gadgets I started to use and like it was more of like challenging myself not to use many, and then I would die and then be like, all right, and I'd come back and use all my bombs and all my drones and be like, it's fine. Like it's if you actually use all the things that you have, it's pretty easy. But the like I found the actual like combat of the kind of Arkham style, like, you know, just counter and stuff like that to be fun, that I just tried to do that.
I love once you got slow-mo whenever you did a dodge. That definitely made things easier.
That one was satisfying for sure.
I think I used that most of the time on that one.
I learned how to dodge super good in Spider-Man.
I think if I was doing it, I would probably have given some of the mobility upgrades just at the start of like the quick recover and stuff, because I think the most satisfying thing about that is the swinging. So making the swinging feel good the entire time, because it's all about just kind of trying to keep that swing going, trying to, if you ever hit the ground, having that quick recover to be able to bounce back up into the swing is really good. So I think it would have been great to have that from the get-go.
See, that was something that kind of bothered me about the game, because they established, like, he's been Spider-Man for a couple years already, right? Like, he's very much Spider-Man.
It's a video game. You gotta earn upgrades.
Well, I get that, but, like, it's, like, in this, like, week-long period that the game takes place in, it's, like, all of a sudden, I am 100 times a better Spider-Man versus the last 8 years that I've been Spider-Man. Like, it's really dumb. And there, like, the non-combat aspects, I shouldn't have to worry about leveling up. Like the web slinging, right? Like, I've been Spider-Man for 8 years before this moment. Why the and I don't know if it's 8. That's just the number that I'm attached to
8.
for some reason.
It is. It's
okay.
8 years, yeah.
Nice!
Yes, that's 100% what it is.
But, like, you've been Spider-Man for this long, and now you're suddenly 10% better at web slinging when I level up to level 30. Like,
because progression is fun. At least to a lot of people, at least to me. Like,
Teddy loves the grind.
I like it.
just non-combat progression is dumb.
I personally, one of the reasons, my favorite game of all time, I've said it a bunch of times, is Infamous 2. And one of the things that I remember from that game is when you start off, you can run and jump and like sometimes glide on electrical power lines, and then by the end of the game, eventually you get a double jump. I don't think you get a double jump, but eventually you get like an ice jump. That's like near the end, and even further near the end, you get a thing where you can look up at the top of a building and use it to like lasso up, and like you get more and more to where you can just fucking fly around the city at the end, but it's like incremental things. And I like that because it starts off, it kind of like I like feeling more mobile at the end. I don't mind that at the beginning I was slow because it still felt good. It just feels even better at the end, you know? That's why.
Yeah, but in Infamous 2, that made more sense because, like,
he was earning the ice and all that. I mean, to be fair, it did make more sense in the story.
Yeah, he had just gotten his powers. Well, no,
Exactly.
in two, he would have had it for a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
was getting the ice powers and stuff.
I did like that there were some features in Spider-Man that made me think of Infamous. Like, that was cool because I missed that game. I wish they'd make a PS4 remake and, like, fix the story.
Fix it.
I was about to say, I was like, hold your horses, all right? Kessler in the first Infamous was a dope, like, reveal, and then two still holds up. I've gone back and played that game. That game still holds up.
I'm just mad at how
But I want to remaster. Really
well,
badly.
I want to revisit the questions and comments part of this podcast.
Oh, this conversation is over?
Yeah, it's been going for a while. It's concluded. We did
I
it.
feel like I could go on forever.
I think I said as much as I want to say about that. I just the topic of the show about like the leveling and like should some of this stuff be at the start. Like I think sometimes there's definitely a case to be made. Like I could see a case to be made about the recover but like personally I don't think so, because personally, in Spider-Man's case, the moment you leap out of your apartment and it's like straight into gameplay and it's literally just like R2, holding R2 feels great. Like I didn't really have any problems with the web swinging. Like it felt awesome the whole time. And then when you got the ability that like you could shoot to like a ledge and then hold X and he'd leap off of it, it felt even better. Like, it started off feeling good, and then it got better and better and better. So I was personally okay with it. But I totally could see an argument for that. It also depends on the type of game.
So, like, the thing that bothers me is the fact of how long he's been Spider-Man. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, I just started Kingdom Hearts 2, right? And canon, they made that make sense where you start fresh because, like, they basically reset Sora by breaking him in the game between 1 and 2. And so he starts fresh and it makes sense because it's like, well, you were asleep for a year. Like, no, you don't remember how to do anything that you learned in the first game because you basically had to be reset as a person. You took a hard reset as a person, Sora. And so now you have to start over.
Yeah, Sora, get him.
But yeah, and I don't know. I
get
had a really rough time playing Spider-Man.
It doesn't make as much sense with the story, but like, I mean, the web swinging bit doesn't really make sense with the story, but the gadgets they definitely tried to make sense because they showed him like making them and stuff like that. But yeah, I see what you mean. It doesn't really bother me.
Something else that bothered me about Spider-Man is that there were 55 backpacks scattered around the city. And the way they tried to write that off was, oh, I won a contest. And instead of taking the money, I just took a lifetime supply of backpacks. Like, what the fuck kind of a bullshit? What does that mean?
It means he won a contest and he got a bunch of backpacks. He left him around the city with clothes and stuff like that so he could change and be Spider-Man whenever he wanted.
It just felt like
it's just like in Homecoming when Tom Holland runs into the hallway and starts changing and throws the backpack against the wall and runs away. And then he's like, Aunt May, I need a new backpack later.
That was just so weird to me.
Yeah.
I get if there was like a dozen of them, but 55 backpacks, and then you try to tell me it's because you won a contest? Excuse me?
It's been Spider-Man for a long time.
The backpacks, on a more positive note, are some of my favorite collectibles in any video game ever, because each collectible you get has a short 1 or 2 sentence little line of dialogue of like building the world of Spider-Man, of like, this is how we've been in the
really
last...
cool.
Yeah. Which is rare because collectibles usually aren't fun. but I liked getting
when
all of
he
them.
like found the drawing that the kid had made him after he saved his balloon. Like that was super sweet. And like when you found the schematics for something that ended up mattering later, like that was kind of cool. But like just the collectibles themselves were cool. The backpacks, just that bothered me for some. Just it felt so stupid.
One thing we haven't talked about, I love how you mentioned the combat and the gameplay and the sound and the music and all this, but like we haven't talked about the story. The story's really
and
good.
we will be
I like
talking
the story
about
a lot.
all of that on the Game of the Year edition of
So the story was
Ready
pretty
Set
good.
Gamecast. But until then,
There was just one
you can
really
contribute to the
spoilery thing.
podcast by going to readysetgamecast.com/submit to submit your question, comment, or your favorite time that Spider-Man glitched for you for us to read on the show.
Or your favorite Spider-Man movie, and it better
Bryce,
be Into the
I'm gonna
Spider-Verse
quit the
or Homecoming.
podcast
Why?
because you didn't let me just say this one sentence that we can talk about in detail at Game of the Year
Say it.
because it's spoilers. But there was one part really near the end that ruined a lot of the story for me
All right.
and only made it that much more unsatisfying finishing the game.
All right. Well, we will talk more about that in the Game of the Year.
But it was awkward and made no sense.
I'm excited to hear that. I'm excited.
Jeremy Pippin writes in and says, "What is the best and worst purchases you've made?" Teddy Chinaris.
Oh God, the best and worst purchases you've ever made. Best I could say like trips I've been on, like Kind of Funny Live 2 and 3 and prom, and like probably a gaming computer and my PlayStation. Probably this PlayStation 3. Actually, I didn't buy this. I bought this PS4. Probably the PS4. Worst purchases I've ever made? I don't know. Probably sometime I bought some shitty food and had diarrhea, you know? That was a bad idea. That's all I can think of at the moment. I'll come back to me. I'll think of a worse
This
purchase.
one time I went to Taco John's and then I had to go to the doctor's
Emergency room.
Yeah, to the emergency room for food poisoning.
Yikes. That's is that the worst purchase you've ever made?
Probably. It was the middle of the night. I was living alone and I was just like trying to call people. I called my ex-girlfriend. She didn't pick up. I called another ex-girlfriend who I was slightly friends with. I don't remember if I called my brother. I think I maybe called my brother and he didn't answer. But yeah, my one ex-girlfriend friend who after that I never talked to again because her boyfriend hated me. But she ended up driving me to the hospital, and because I waited several hours, I was like, I don't want to have to pay for this. Please get better. And I was just, kept vomiting, and I ran out of things to vomit, but I kept trying to vomit. I was basically vomiting up stomach acid.
Try heaving.
Yeah, and at that point, I was like, if there's nothing left and my body's still trying to vomit, I'm too dehydrated. This is not stopping. I need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And she took me there, and
Have you ever been to Taco John's since?
I have, and it's still been bad. I was like, it was a while. It was many months, and I tried it, and the 6-pack a pound tasted bad. So I was like, maybe not again. Maybe that's the last time.
This is done. Was it the same Taco John?
Yeah, we only have one in town, so we only have one.
Oh, you're just a sucker for pain. Why would you?
Why do you think I'm friends with you, Darrian?
Whoa!
You're not wrong.
Got him.
Darrian, what's your worst purchase? I'll have to come up with the best.
My worst is a hard choice because I've made a lot of really bad purchases.
I made a lot of bad decisions, and it's hard to pick
See,
one.
I can't think of a worse. I haven't really bought anything bad. I've bought a lot of good things.
Oh, Teddy, I buy things all the time.
I feel like I know who Jeremy Pippin is, and I feel like they have something in mind for me specifically, though I don't know what it is. I feel like when they submitted this question, they were like, Bryce, I know what bad things you buy. and I'm curious what they think is my worst and best purchase. They probably can think of my worst purchase. My best purchase is probably this gaming PC, just because it's allowed me to do a lot of gaming, allowed me to make this podcast, allowed me to do a lot of creative things and make friends. If it wasn't for this gaming PC, I wouldn't have become a streamer. If I didn't become a streamer, I wouldn't have met Teddy Chinaris or Dexterity, and then she wouldn't have ever played Spider-Man.
I'm trying to think of when that goes back. For me, it's honestly probably the PS4 is like the catalyst. PS4 probably best purchase I've ever made, right there. Because it was the first console I saved up and bought for on my own. Actually, the Vita was the first console, I guess.
Oh, you know what? PS4. The worst purchase I've ever made was a board game called Zombicide and its expansion, Toxic City Mall. And it's not because it was a bad board game. I bought the game and its expansion because my birthday was coming up and I wanted to invite a bunch of my friends over and play this board game and drink and celebrate my birthday. But when my best friend found out that I had bought Zombicide, he got mad at me because he already owned that game. And he was like, if one person in our friend group already owns it, why would you spend the money on that game? Like, that was stupid. You shouldn't have done that. Like, we already have that game. And then on my birthday, we didn't even play the game at all. That was the game that I was most hyped for. We didn't touch it. And so
wait, what? You still could have played it.
No, he refused. He got super mad at me over it.
Why was he so mad?
Are you still friends with him?
Because he already owned it. Yeah, I am.
He sounds like a bad friend.
No, we weren't friends for like 2 years because of other things. But
drugs.
He's not a bad friend. He was mad that I wasted money that I didn't need to spend.
Yeah, but like you still didn't have to not play it. Like you were excited about playing it. You should have been like, you know.
We ended up not playing it because of we probably would have, but I felt bad about it and I just hid it and I pretended I didn't buy it. Even though I just spent $100 on it.
No, that's dumb. Like, there's reasons for what if you're busy and we want to play it?
Yeah.
We're not gonna live our life around your availability to bring us the game.
Yeah, it's cool that you own it.
We fought about it for a while. Like, it wasn't something that I immediately like gave up on. Like, no, your argument is stupid. But ever since, I've never bought a game that I know he owns, which includes my favorite board game of all time. Because he owns it. And like, he's the only person I play board games with. So like, I mean.
Okay. Did everybody do a best and worst?
I didn't do a best.
Okay.
My best purchase was when I was in 6th grade and I bought Kingdom Hearts with the auction points that we did as a 6th grade class. Like, we'd all accumulate points based on like if we filled out our what were those journals called?
Journals.
They were like our weekly schedules. No, they were like planners basically, but they were for kids. Like, I don't remember what they're called.
We didn't have those.
I've never heard of this. Yeah.
While she's typing, you got a worst?
Not really. I can't. Not a specific worst that I can think of.
The engagement ring for the woman you never married.
I bought a necklace for a girlfriend that broke up with me a long time ago. Maybe that. It wasn't that expensive though, so like, I don't know.
It always like I have bought presents for girls way in advance because I see something I know they'll love, and then they break up with me before it's their birthday or whatever I was going to give it to them for, and I'm like, guess I just got this thing now. I don't want it.
It's like, I guess that's the worst. I'm looking around my apartment. I only really buy things that I want or like. I don't know. I'm trying to think, is there something that I bought that was like broken?
Self-esteem.
That was already broken, didn't have to buy it. I'm working on it.
Yikes.
I'm working on it, bro.
Darrian, did you figure out your life story?
2019.
I feel like it's just called like no, I don't remember.
I don't feel like knowing the name of it's important to the story.
It was just a planner. So like you'd get points and then you'd have to keep track of them yourself in the back of your planner thing. And then
So
at
you
the end
could
of every
lie?
quarter, no, it had to be approved by a teacher.
Oh.
And you'd get points for like bringing things in to use in the auction and stuff. And at the end of every quarter, all of the classes would join in one of the teachers' rooms, and there would be like 100 things for you to auction with, basically. And I feel like I've told this story on this podcast before.
I've never heard this before, and this seems super weird.
Really? No,
Yeah.
in sixth
Yeah,
grade,
I
like it
don't
was
really
like an
understand.
auction, and you just auction points that you earned for being a good kid on things that like other kids didn't want anymore. And someone brought in Kingdom Hearts and a Game Boy Advance game, one of the Need for Speeds on Game Boy Advance. And my friend and I agreed that we were each going to get a game. And I told her I wanted to get the Need for Speed game, and she was supposed to get the Kingdom Hearts game. But the Need for Speed game came up first, and she outbid me on it.
Wow, that little bitch.
Yeah. And so then when Kingdom Hearts came up, I went all in, and I didn't even really know what it was. I was just like, yeah, a game on
So
the
you
PS2,
did it out of spite.
sure.
That's very on brand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We agreed. We were going to share. But she was like, well, I want this game more, even though we agreed that I was going to get that game. And so when I got Kingdom Hearts, I took it home and I absolutely loved it. Like, I played it all night. And then the next day at school, she came in and she was like, can we trade games? I don't like this one. I was like, fuck you. No, we had an agreement and you broke it. That's your fault,
Fucking
bitch.
got her.
I'm enjoying the heck out of this, Sharon. I'm gonna play this and love it every moment. I don't care, Sharon.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, and I bought that. I mean, I bought that with auction points. That was a purchase.
We'll call that
in little kid
thing.
terms. Best purchase ever. It opened a whole legacy for Darrian.
Can you start the legacy of the housekeeping section?
The legacy of the housekeeping section. So go to ReadySetGamecast.com for links to the podcast on all your favorite podcast services, including iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher, as well as the video version on YouTube.
I'm going to actually change that real quick because I actually updated lastgeek.com to be
Well, check that out. LastGeek.
to be a hub for both Ready Set Gamecast and Game Make Corp.
Nice.
It's going to be good.
So if you like the show, please subscribe, rate, and review it on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us grow and become more powerful. Other Last Geek stuff you should check out. This is your regular reminder that GameMate Corp has a new episode. I'm sure it does. I don't know anything about it. Tell us about it, Bryce. Is it the Pain Deer games?
No, that was the Osmosis Jones MMO.
That one was funny to listen to you guys talk about because you talked about that one for a while, and it sounded kind of cool.
We kind of like it is an improv show because we go into it with like hey, I'm gonna talk about Osmosis Jones MMO, and I was just like, hey, it would be funny if each person is a cell inside a human being, and then as me and Beckers were talking about it, we're like, oh, each server is a different human being, and then the different servers can interact and make out and stuff, and it was like, this is also very funny. I am enjoying this humor.
This
was
is very funny.
it was really funny because it escalated quickly and got real weird real fast, but it was cool.
Just wait till you hear how that game did next time on the next episode. I think I came up with a good how the game did. But yeah, Game of Corp, it's out there. Do the thing.
Do it.
That's it for housekeeping. You can find me on twitch.tv/Teddy Chinaris and twitter.com/Teddy Chinaris, and same thing with Instagram and YouTube, and that's pretty much it. But at this point, dude, I'm not your full-on content creation boy like I used to be and like I wanted to be. At this point, I'm just streaming when I can and for fun, because this semester, I'm telling you, I wanted to tweet this out, but I was just talking about it with a friend the other day. 2019 is easily going to be my most challenging year I've ever had. It's gonna be something, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my best. I got a lot going on. But yeah, I'm gonna be streaming whenever I have the time, just for fun. But hopefully, ideally, the nights when I could stream would be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturday nights, and then possibly Sunday nights. But yeah, so keep an eye out on those nights.
Turn on your notifications.
Yes, exactly.
Ring the bell, because Twitch made it a bell now.
That's actually pretty great.
I don't like that when they changed it, so when you follow someone new, notifications are all automatically turned on.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they've done that, and I'm very vigilant about shutting them right the fuck off.
It's annoying.
There are like 10 people that I care about hearing the announcements for. 2 of them are my co-hosts. And the
on
rest of them,
podcast.
I might just be, on my other podcast.
On my secret podcast.
The rest are like, if I'm following you, it's cool that you stream and I might host you every once in a while, but I don't need to know every single time you fucking stream for everybody. That's ridiculous, Twitch. Please. That is so much spam.
Well, if somebody wanted to ring your bell, Darrian, how would they do it?
My name is Dexterity. It's DEXTERIDEE, and I'm on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram with that name. And I have dexterity.com.
She does. It goes to her.
Goes to my Twitch.
You can follow me on Twitter at Last Geek, on Twitch at Last Geek Plays, at Instagram on Last Geek Plays, and the video version of this podcast and other content I make, including occasional Let's Play featuring some of the people on this podcast, sometimes other people, is available at youtube.com/lastgeek. That's probably it. That concludes this episode of Ready Set Gamecast. Thank you for listening, and we will see you, and you'll hear us again in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.